eye. Wait till it gets red. That is the key. Let me put this into my little... I need to clean this. I'm not going to show you all what it looks like, but there's a lot of action in there. Welcome, everyone. Let's just take a moment to arrive and just settle into this space. So eyes can be open or closed. Just beginning to notice the breath. Notice how you're breathing. Just following your natural inhale and exhale. Beginning to notice your body. Maybe scanning from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. Just noticing where you're carrying any tension or tightness. Exploring the body in a kind and curious way. And once you arrive at the soles of the feet, expanding your awareness to just take in your surroundings, noticing where you are. What's nearby and what's further away. Together, let's take a deep breath, breathing in and breathing out. Arriving to this moment. Preparing the mind and body to listen and be open and receive. Whenever you're ready, just slowly and gently opening your eyes. Coming back into the space. So welcome, everyone. My name is Dora. I am a mindfulness meditation teacher, currently working and teaching on the Headspace app. And today I wanted to answer a question that I get a lot. Like probably once a week I get this question 2 to 3 times of how do I become a meditation teacher? How do I gain success or be successful by teaching meditation? And how did I achieve the success that I have by teaching and sharing my meditations online? And so I'm not going to answer all of those questions in today's video, but I did want to begin this conversation with 3 things to consider if you are on the path or on the journey of becoming a meditation teacher. And I want to invite you to treat this conversation as a meditation. So again, can you be curious? Can you be present? Can you approach these moments together with a non-judgmental attitude, and just notice what comes up in your mind and body as I share. Take notes, take what you like, discard the rest. If you have any comments, of course, leave it down below. But I wanted to start with how I got to where I am. So I first learned about meditation or heard it from my best friend. This is back in like 2009, 2010. He had started going to yoga and was talking to me about yoga and meditation and the effects it can have on the mind and body. And I definitely was not in a place where I was ready to listen at all. It's really funny now that I think about it. But then I started to dabble. I love my best friend and he's someone that I've always listened to. And so I did start to dabble, but it wasn't anything consistent. The first time I tried to meditate, I tried to do it for 2 hours, didn't work out too well. If anyone has tried to begin meditation, 2 hours is a very long time. But that kind of started me on my path of being curious about my mind. You know, I was living in my mom's house and she is a Christian, so meditation wasn't really accepted in our household, so I had to do it in hiding. I was listening to hip-hop instrumentals and trying to match my breath to the rhythm of the music, and did that for a long time. Fast forward 2016, 2017, I met my ex. And he was very much into meditation and wellness and spirituality. And so he kind of reignited that flame for me to get curious and really learn more and develop my own personal practice. From there, 2017, I decided to host my own workshops on mental health, self-care, self-love in Vancouver, BC. And I did that for a few years and it really took off. And I was just sharing my stories, all the things that I had been through, and maybe in another video I'll share my own personal stories. This is like the Cliff Notes version. And from there, I was completing my first degree, completed my second degree in psychiatric nursing, and wanted to get a certification in meditation because I just thought that this is such an intimate thing that I've been learning, and I want to be able to guide people and teach people in the right way. So I got my certification at the Lab of Meditation, and I'll share that down below. And then that was 2018, 2019, and then the pandemic happened, so I was so eager to finally teach, and I couldn't. Like, everyone was inside, as we know. And so I started to upload my meditations onto Insight Timer, and yeah, things just took off. So I think, and I always share this with people, it was the timing, a little bit of luck, that my grandmother's prayers are definitely working in my life to this day. But I uploaded my meditations at a time where they were really needed in the world, and people found me. That's how my boss at Headspace found me, and then my life completely changed. So throughout that whole process, there's so much that I've learned. I've worked with brands, I've worked with companies and organizations throughout this entire time. I never went into teaching thinking that I wanted to be successful or make money. That was never my intent. And I think that's the first thing to consider is your intention. So why do you want to become a meditation teacher? Like, what is bringing you to this path? Is it for profit? Is it being driven by money and wanting to become successful in like a wealthy way, right? Which there's nothing wrong with that. I think especially now in the world that we're living in the society that we live in, wanting to become successful is what everybody wants and everyone desires. So it's okay to have that in your mind and as an intention, but I want to encourage you to let go of that in the beginning stages, because meditation and yoga traditionally aren't things that you would be gaining success from in that way. Like, these practices should be free, right? And if people aren't paying you, like, where are you going to make your money if these practices are supposed to be free? So it's something to think about. What is calling you to this practice? Is it self-serving or is it to serve others? And that's what was driving me. Of like, I have experienced so much liberation and freedom in my own practice, and now I want to share this to other people because it's so empowering to know that it's my own mind that I need to work on, that I need to understand in order to feel free. Like, for me, that was a game changer, and I'm like, I want to share this to people. I want to share this sense of freedom with people and have people experience this and not wait until they get an apology or wait for something or someone to happen to them or to come along and change their lives, but to know, like, we have access to this power within ourselves. And for the first few years when I was doing my events, I wouldn't charge people at all. It would be free or either be for a donation, because I would be hosting my events in spaces, and I would give that money to the people that were allowing us to be in their space. So number one, the first thing to consider is, what is your intention? What's your motivation? What's your purpose for wanting to be a meditation teacher? What's bringing you to this path? And is it a intention that is solely focused on yourself, or is it to benefit all beings? Number two, I think something that's really important to consider and something that I've learned and I am currently learning is, what are your values? One, as a human being, but two, as you step into the role of becoming a teacher, what are your values, right? Do you value authenticity, integrity, respect, safety, trust? And I can share a values worksheet that I did when I was in my nursing school that really helped me to get clear on like, what are my yeses and what are my nos? Because this space is oversaturated. And there's a lot of opportunities for sure that are out there that exist, but as I've learned, not all business is good business. And when you have values directing you and things that you can go back and like look at of like, okay, is this company that I am wanting to partner with, are they in alignment with what it is that I value as an individual and as a teacher? If not, then sometimes you have to say no. And how okay are you with saying no? But again, if you have your intention set of wanting to serve people, being in benefit to all beings, and you know that sometimes when you say no, there is a greater yes around the corner. And that's something that I have found so much, significantly, I don't know if that's the right word, but something that where there's things that I thought that I have lost, but then there's been so much immense gain by me living true to my intentions and also staying in alignment with my values. So I really want you to consider, what are your values? And one of the best ways we can learn what our values are being in community, being in relationship with other people. Author and writer, activist Bell Hooks writes about how we learn about how to be self-loving by being around other people. We don't learn in isolation. And it's the same way with learning about our values, right? Of being in some sticky situations that help us to refine what our values are. So what is your intention and what are your values? Number three, I'm just going off the top of my head. I didn't write down a list. I should have. But number three, I think something to consider is letting go of the outcome, letting go of expectations. Yeah, letting go of the outcome, letting go of expectations of what is to come, and just falling in love with the process of being a student. Maybe that's number three, or maybe this is number four, but never stop being a student. I've met a lot of teachers who they get their first certificate and for years they don't learn anything else and just are solely focused on teaching. And this is maybe number five. The fifth thing to consider is that being a meditation teacher requires you to practice what it is that you're teaching. So it's not enough to just read books and attend workshops and seminars and trainings and like hoard all of that knowledge and not put it into practice. You actually have to practice. You actually have to sit with your mind. You know, you really have to, I say, like, go through the mud, right? To really have that direct experience and then be able to teach from that. It's so, so important. And I actually teach, I'm now a teacher in the meditation teacher training that I did, and I teach a portion of the course is on integrity as a teacher, and it's also about the art of teaching, and it talks about the shadow work, right? How often are we preaching? How often are we practicing what we preach? And so consider, you know, how often are you practicing? What is your personal practice like? Before you even become a teacher, what is your personal practice like? And can you then teach from that place? Because again, meditation is not a practice of like intellectual knowing. It's such an embodied experience. And you can feel it with certain teachers who have only read books, no shade to them at all. But you know, you'll be able to notice and feel it within your mind and body when someone is guiding you from an embodied place and when someone is guiding you from like a very disconnected place. And nine out of 10 times, they don't practice as much as they teach. So that's really, really important. Okay, so to recap, I forget, there was 3, 4, and 5. This is why I should have wrote it down, huh? Be a student while also being a teacher. Holding both is so important. Make sure that you are practicing. And number 3 is to let go of the outcome, let go of the expectation of wanting to be successful, and really just fall in love with the process. And bringing to this practice, your teaching practice, a sense of beginner's mind. Every practice, every class will be different. Every opportunity is a new opportunity to begin again, to learn something new. But if you're only focused on becoming successful, you're gonna miss out on all the opportunities to just learn and to expand and evolve as a human being and as a teacher. So I'll leave it there. I feel like I talked a lot. Maybe that's what happens when you're talking on camera to a camera. But I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can always leave them in the comment section below. Maybe I'll do another video on the business of meditation. There's a way that you can go about it where it doesn't feel like a business. We can talk more about like the shadow side of teaching, because that will come up. And yeah, other ways to find success. And hopefully by now you know that success for me is, and maybe this is number 6, the 6th thing to consider is like, what is your measurement of success? Because success for me isn't just about money. That's probably the last thing. It's really about the impact that I'm having on people, the way that I'm making people feel, and the legacy that I am going to leave on this earth. And rarely ever is it about how much money I'm going to make. I am grateful that I, do have the financial freedom to do certain things, and have been blessed to have this beautiful opportunity to teach at one of the greatest, or the greatest meditation app in the world. So I do recognize that, but personally, through my own experiences, I've learned that if I'm just following and chasing money, there's this hunger there that I will never be able to fill, because just like our thoughts, money comes and goes, and that sense of contentment is something that I have learned to cultivate. So a few things, a lot of things. This is supposed to be 3 things, but now there's 6 things. But I hope that you can just take some time to reflect, and sending you all so much gratitude for being here. If you made it to the end of this video, I hope to launch my mentorship course by the end of this year, and being able to guide and offer wisdom and support for new teachers, because that was something that I didn't really have when I first started, and I would love to give back in that way. All right, let's take one deep breath to close. So close your eyes if you'd like, or keep them open to a soft gaze. Just take a moment to notice what's present in your body, what's present in the mind. Together, let's breathe in and let everything go. Whenever you're ready, just slowly and gently opening your eyes. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time, for your presence. And again, if you have any questions, comments, please share them down below. All right, peace.